So is my slide visible to all of you? Hello, is my slide visible to all of you? Okay. Now also it is not visible? Okay, fine. Okay, so let me start the group week 4 discussion uh, from the course Farm Machinery. It was taken by Professor V.K. Tiwari, Director IIT Kharagpur and Professor Agriculture and Food Engineering Department IIT Kharagpur, and myself Ayan Paul. I am a PMRF research scholar from IIT Kharagpur. I am the TA of the course. So by TA I mean a PMRF TA. So my responsibility is to summarize all the lectures that are useful for this week, and second to solve questions similar to your assignment but not your assignment, right? So let me start today's week discussion. So last week we have started our discussion on sowing. In the first week I have told you that there are different type of farm machinery operation. So the first farm machinery operation was seedbed preparation or tillage. Second was sowing or seeding. Third is intercultural operation, and fourth is harvesting. So in the last week we have started the sowing or seeding operation. So today we will continue from that sowing or seeding operation. So today we will see what is this puddling is. So puddling is a mechanical manipulation of soil in the presence of standing water in the field to create a least pervious layer that prevents the loss of water through percolation and facilitate transplanting of paddy seedling by making soil softer. So puddling is you can say a concept of tillage only, but in tillage this is a special type of tillage. Okay, so what happens is there are some plants like some of the special crops like rice. It requires standing water to do the tillage. But you know, in a field we cannot let the water stand until until the bottom layer is pervious. Otherwise all the water will deeply percolate into the soil. So to prevent that, what we do is we do this puddling operation. So puddling operation, while doing this puddling operation, it prevents that loss of water. and now the tillage is done in standing water. So that is known as puddling. So it is specially used for our paddy seedling. So you can see this is a type of puddler. You can see puddler, it is very similar to your tillage implement like rotavator. You can see the blades are very similar to rotavator. So it is very similar to tillage, only this time we are doing the tillage in standing water. So that is puddling. So how you can measure this puddling thing? So puddling thing is measured by an index called puddling index. Okay, so puddling index is volume of settled salt divided by total volume of the soil, that is Vs by V. So how to take the measurements? So for determining this puddling index, what you need to do is you need to have a glass tube and you have to immerse it about 100 millimeter inside the soil and take the sample. And this samples are taken from a number of points. Yeah, sample you have to take from different points in order to get the mean and standard deviation and all, and it shall be collected in a measuring cylinder. This shall be kept undisturbed for 18 hours to allow the soil to settle. So yeah, let me 1 minute. Okay, so yeah, I was telling about the puddling index. So puddling index that I was telling, it is the ratio of volume of settled soil divided by total volume of soil. So that is puddling index. So how you have to measure this puddling index? You have to go to the field at depth of 100 millimeter. You have to okay, so yeah, in depth of 100 millimeter, you have to collect a few samples, like 5 samples you can collect, and you have to let this sample kept undisturbed for 18 hours. By doing this only, some of the soil will settled at the bottom. So the puddling index is volume of the soil that is settled in the test tube divided by total volume of the soil. So that is puddling index. So now why we are doing this puddling and all this? We are doing this for our transplanting operation. So rice, in rice you cannot sow the rice directly into the field. What we do is we prepare seedling in a nursery and then plant this seedling in prepared field. Just like you can say children are going to nursery, and then after children are going to your primary school and high school and so far. So what we are doing in nursery, we are creating a very friendly environment, right? So the kid can get interested in studies. So that is the same purpose of this nursery in this rice also. So what we will do, we will create a nursery for this plantings, and then when the seedling germinate and grow to a proper size, we transplant this seedling to a prepared field. Prepared field means in a puddled field. So it is commonly done for mainly paddy, that we are paddy or rice that we are seeing here, and it is also done for some vegetable and flower plants also. So this is all about puddling and transplanting. Is it clear? First slide. Any doubt regarding this slide? So guys, any doubt about this slide? Is it clear? Is my voice audible to all of you? Okay, so it is clear, right? Gautam? Okay, so I think it is clear first slide. So let me move to the next one. So now, what are the types of transplanter you have seen? Someone is joining the- Yeah. So in the first slide, you have seen two operation. One is puddling and second is transplanting. Now the question is puddling. I have shown you.
बेटा रुक जा.
Yeah. So yeah, puddling I have shown you. This is the implement for puddling. It is a type of it is a very similar type of tillage implement. The blades are very similar to rotavator blades. So this is used for puddling. But what is the implement that is used for transplanting? So for transplanting, you can see transplanting can be done by various power. So in the first class only I have told you to operate a farm implement there are mainly three types of power. One is human power, second is your animal power, and third is your mechanical power, right? These are the three types of power. Now in this case of transplanting, the animal power is very less used because animals when they will go to the puddle field, it is very difficult for them. That is why we generally do not use animal power in case of this transplanting operation. The other powers we are using, one is your human power and second is your mechanical power. So human power also, there are two types you can use. You can either plant this seedling directly into the field, that is manual transplanting. Second is you can use a manually operated transplanter. So by hand you have to pull the transplanter, you have to pull or push the transplanter, and by that you can transplant your seedlings in the field. But the advantage of this manual operated transplanter to totally manual transplanting is that uh, you do not have to bend yourself into the mud. So that will help you to conserve your energy, and that will delay your fatigue. So that is the advantage of manually operated transplanter to manual transplanting. Now when we are going to this mechanical power, we can use this power operated transplanter, power tiller operated transplanter, and second you can go for this self propelled transplanter, and third you can go for mini tractor transplanter. Tractor is a very heavy vehicle, you can say. And that tractor you cannot take it into the puddle field because it will probably sink into the soil. So that is why we do not use that heavyweight implement, that heavyweight vehicle. We use mini or tractor in place of tractor. Okay. And other things that we are use power tiller we can use, and we can also use this self propelled transplanter. Self propelled, we are operating ourselves by hand. Means in this power tiller operated transplanter is different, and your tiller is different. In mini tractor operated transplanter, your transplanter will be powered by a mini tractor. But in self propelled rice transplanter, you only have this rice transplanter, and it is powered by itself. That is why it is called self propelled rice transplanter. So that is on the basis of power. Now now on the basis of nursery, there are two types of rice transplanter. One is there are two type of transplanter. One is root washed seedling type transplanter, and another is soil bearing seedling type transplanter. So by name you can see what is a root washed seedling type transplanter. So I have told you, in the operation of transplanting, first you have to grow your seed into a nursery. When the seed attains a growth stage, favorable growth stage, then the seedling can be transferred to transfer and sown in a field, that is transplanting. So root wash transplanting, we are plucking the seedling from the nursery as a whole. We are washing its root, and then we are transplanting the seedling to a field. That is root washed seedling type transplanter. But there are other type of transplanter also, that is soil bearing seedling type transplanter. In this type of transplanter, what we do is we raise this seedling in a nursery on a mat. Okay, on a soil type mat we raise this seedling, and when we have to do the transplanting as a mat, we raise this mat on the tray of the transplanter. This is known as tray of the transplanter. So as a whole we lift that mat, and we keep on the trays of the transplanter, and then transplanter do all the operation. So that is soil bearing seedling type transplanter. So again I am repeating, on the basis of nursery there are two type of transplanter. One is root washed seedling type transplanter, second is soil bearing seedling type transplanter. Root washed, what we do, we pluck the seedling as a whole from the nursery, we wash its root, and then we sow the seedling on a field. That is root washed seedling type transplanter. But in soil bearing seedling type transplanter, what we do is we grow our seedling on a mat, okay, soil type mat. So when a seedling attains the favorable growth stage, we pluck that mat as a whole. We do not pluck the plant, we pluck the mat as a whole. We keep it on the individual trays of the transplanter, and then transplanter do the transplanting operation. So here in this diagram you can see, this, yeah, here in this diagram you can see this is a self propelled rice transplanter, and this is a self propelled rice transplanter, and you can see here the transplanter is as a whole. I have told you self propelled means the transplanter is not powered by any outside source. The transplanter is powered by itself only. That is why it is known as self propelled. Okay, so what are the different components of this self propelled transplanter? It has its own engine. This is its own engine. Second, we have traction wheel. Now you can I have already told you about what traction is. Traction is the interaction of the tire or moving elements with the soil. So this traction is very much required when we are operating in a loose soil. Okay, in a loose soil or in a clay soil or in a muddy soil. So this traction is very much required. So for this traction we are providing a kind of traction wheel. Okay, traction wheel very similar to your usual wheel. Only in traction wheel you can see these are made up of the width of this wheels is greater than the usual wheels. So that is a traction wheel. As the size of the tire increases, the traction also increases. So that is why this is the traction wheel. Then gearbox will be there. This engine will give its power to the gearbox. This gearbox will operate, and after that this traction wheel will operate. So by that the transplanter will move or propel in a forward direction. And then at the back side, this is the most important unit that I have also told you in this soil bearing seedling type transplanter. This is known as tray. Okay, tray for the seedling. So on this tray there we fit this mat type of seedling, and you can see there are how many number of trays? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So there are 8 trays are there. So we will keep this 8 different number of this 8 quantities of mats, and there will be planting fingers. So what this planting fingers will do, this will pick one by one seedling from the tray, from each portion of the tray. Like from this tray, from this two trays, there is only one planting finger. So this planting fingers, what it will do, it will pick the seedling one by one, and then it will sow the seedling on the puddled field. So that's how this works. So okay, and this float is there. Why the float is there? The float will level the field first. Okay, the float will level the field first, and then after that the fingers will plant the seedlings onto the puddled field. So this is all about type of transplanter and how and components of self-propelled transplanter. So is this clear to all of you?
Hello, Ayan.
Yes.
Yeah, there is one question regarding this. What kind of the finger used in self-propelled transplanter?
Yeah, we are using this planting fingers, right?
Planting fingers, but in the question there are the four different options. I did not find anywhere, or it was not mentioned by the VK Tiwari ji also.
Yeah, it was mentioned. When you will open the course, there are different types of transplanter. That question I will do, and there I will tell. Okay, there are
Okay, sure.
there I will tell. So
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
there are there are different type of uh, there are different type of this mechanism to plant the
Yeah.
seedling. So one type of mechanism is your planting fingers. Okay,
Okay.
one type of mechanism is planting fingers, and there may be other type of mechanism also for this planting. Okay, more details you can find in your lecture notes. Okay,
Actually,
lecture there you
actually,
can
I
find.
was find the details of such a mechanism in entire lecture. Might be myself missed or might not be there.
Yeah, it was there, I think. Once more, you please go through that. It was there in the
Okay.
paddy transplanting lecture. It was there that there are different type of transplanting mechanism. Okay, not different type
Okay.
of fingers, but different type of transplanting mechanism. And one transplanting mechanism is your fingers. Okay, planting
Okay.
fingers.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so let me yeah, so let me move forward. Any other question in this slide? Okay, so no question. Okay, so yeah, let me move forward, and now we will learn about a different type of rice sowing operation. Okay, that is system of rice intensification, also commonly known as Siri method of rice cultivation. Okay, SRI, Siri method of rice cultivation. So why we do this Siri method? Answer is we want to produce more by putting less of our resources. Okay, so what this Siri method basically do, it save the resources and produce more. Okay, so Siri SRI is often described as high yielding environment friendly technology that relies on changing farmers agronomic practices towards more efficient use of natural resources. Okay, towards more efficient use of natural resources. And yeah, the system of rice intensification originated in Madagascar. So it was originated in Madagascar in 1983, and was first synthesized in 1983 by Father Henry de Lorellini, a French Jesuit priest. Okay, so this fellow introduced this first synthesized this operation in the field in year 1983. So what this method do? It raises the seedling in a carefully managed garden-like nursery, very similar to the previous one. Only difference is transplanting of very young seedling is done. Earlier we have seen that transplanting operation generally takes 22 days. Okay, but here 8 to 15 days. In 8 to 15 days only we are transplanting this young seedling to the field. And second, widely spaced single seedling often planted in a grid pattern. You can see all these grid patterns are made, and spacing you can see 25 into 25 centimeter of spacing, and yeah, and single seedling are transplanted at each of the intersection of this rows and columns. Okay, each intersection we are transplanting the seedling. Okay, then water management to promote moist aerated soil conditions sometimes include dry period of 3 to 6 days. So what happens is, in our regular method of rice transplanting, what we do is we transplant this rice in a puddled soil. Okay, there standing water is always already in the field, but here we are transplanting this seedling in a moist soil. Okay, we are not just totally wasting water in this method. Okay, and then early and regular weeding, typically 4 times at regular intervals, ideally using a mechanical rotary weeder, usually churns and aerates the soil, or by hand. So again we are doing the early and regular weeding in this. Also you can see, as the row to row and plant to plant spacing is very regular, that is 25 to 25 centimeter. It is in this type of operation, it is very easy for your weeder to operate, because your weeder can only operate if your plant to plant distance and row to row distance are very uniform, then only your weeder can operate or work efficiently. So here you can see, as your plant to plant and row to row distance is very regular, that is 25 into 25 centimeter. That is why weeding can be done easily. Also this method encourages the early and regular weeding. Okay, and last is fertilization. And here by fertilization we are generally preferring organic sources, like your farmyard manure or green manure. Okay, so that is some of the salient feature of this SRI method of rice transplanting. Okay, so what are the benefits? One is higher yield of both grain and straw. You would know that in rice both the grain and straw is used. The grain is generally consumed by us as a cereal crop. The straw is used as a fodder for animals. Okay, so this method gives higher yield of both this grain as well as straw. Second is, it reduce the duration of crop cycle, that is by 10 to 15 days it reduce. So as we are doing the early transplanting, in 8 to 15 days, our normal that mat type seedling, it usually takes 22 days. Okay, after 22 days we do the transplanting, but here we are doing transplanting in 8 to 15 days. So basically we are saving this 10 to 15 days. Then we are using less chemical inputs. You have seen in fertilization also we are providing organic manure, that is farmyard manure or green manure, some type of manure. Okay, so we are not putting less chemical inputs. Okay, second is the fourth is less water requirement. I have already told you, in general transplanting we are doing our transplanting in standing water. Here we are not doing our transplanting in standing water, here we are doing our transplanting in moist soil. Okay, so that is the main difference between this Siri method and your regular method. The fifth advantage is less chaffy grain percentage. So grain, you would know that that our rice, the outer layer is generally the outer layer portion is generally known as chaff. When we are doing the separation operation or pressing operation, we are telling it as chaff. Okay, so this SRI method, the advantage is it chaff percent is less, so you will get more of grain percent and less of chaff percent. Okay, then grain weight increase without change in grain size. The grain weight is also increasing because chaff portion, chaff portion is lighter than your main grain. Okay, as this method the chaff portion is less, so the weight of the grain will be more. Without changing the size of the grain, the weight of the grain is generally more. Then another advantage is higher head rice recovery rate. Head rice recovery means when we are taking this chaff out, the main portion of the rice left, that is known as head of the rice. Okay, so as you have seen, there is a grain much more grain weight, so your head rice recovery is more. So what happens is, some of the rice its head is not strong, so the rice gets broken into pieces. Okay, during this threshing and other type of operation. So here you will get higher head rice recovery rate. then withstand cyclonic gales. So yeah, as this operation is also suitable for arid type of condition. So in arid condition, you know the wind speed is generally more than your regular condition. So this type of seedling can also withstand this strong winds also. Okay. And last is soil health improves through biological activity. So yeah, so as we are using this organic sources like farmyard manure or green manure, so our soil health would also increase. So these are some of the common benefits of SRI, method of rice intensification. Okay, so is this clear?
Yes, yes, you can proceed further.
Okay. So now we will see some of the performance parameter for planter. So last week we have discussed regarding what is a seed drill, what is a planter, and in this class we will see some of the performance parameter of the planters. So generally the first performance parameter is your miss index, okay, and second is your multiple index. So these two parameters are very useful when we are evaluating the performance of the planter. So in planter, I have already told you the difference between a seed drill and planter. So the difference between seed drill and planter, again I am repeating. Yeah, the seed drill when you are sowing a seed by seed drill, your row to row distance is constant, but you will not get a constant plant to plant distance. Okay, so again I am repeating, seed drill gives constant row to row distance, but it does not give constant plant to plant distance or constant seed to seed distance. It does not give. Okay, so that is where our planter came into play. Planter, besides giving seed to seed distance, it also give constant plant to plant distance. So that is the advantage of the planter. So that is why in planter, this seed to seed distance, or commonly called as plant to plant distance, that is very important in case of planter. Okay, now we have seen in some of the planter, this seed to seed distance is not maintained. Okay, so for that there is some error in this planter. So if we take into account this error, so for that this two index come into picture. One is miss index and one is multiple index. Okay, so what is this miss index? Miss index is percentage of spacing greater than 1.5 times the set planting distance S. Okay, so I have told you, for a planter there will be a set planting distance or set plant to plant distance, but in this miss index, what happens is we are considering percentage of spacing that is greater than 1.5 times the set seed spacing. So that we are taking into account, and miss index is percentage of spacing, right? That is means it is telling about ratio. Okay, so miss index is n by n is the number of spacing greater than 1.5 times the set seed spacing, that is small n, and capital N is your total number of measured spacing. Okay, so that is miss index. Similarly, there is a multiple index. Miss index means your plant missed the set seed spacing, yeah, and after missing it sow the seed, so that is miss index. That means your spacing is greater than mean seed spacing. But when we are considering multiple index, what your what your planter do is, your planter is sowing seed before the set seed spacing, it is sowing your seeds. So that is multiple index. So what is this multiple index? Multiple index is percentage of spacing that are less or equal to half of the set plant distance. So multiple index n2 by n. What is n2? N2 is number of spacing less than 0.5 times your set seed spacing. Okay, so that is multiple index. So again I am repeating, like this is your row, your seed drill, your planter should show your seed at constant seed spacing. Like this is your D, so it should show your seed at constant seed spacing. This is your D, this must also be your D, this must also be your D. This is theoretical thing. Okay, but actually your seed spacing can be more than that. So for accounting, taking into account for this, we have introduced this two index, that is miss index and multiple index. Miss index means your seed spacing is greater than 1.5 times your set seed spacing. Like your planter, so that this is 1.5 times, right? This is 1.5 times. So let's say your planter sow the seed somewhere like here. So that is this type of spacing your miss index takes into account. Now there is another case also, that your planter sow your seed before the set seed spacing. Like your planter can sow your seed before 0.5, like this is your 0.5. If this is your starting, this is your 0.5, this is 0, this is 0.5, okay, and this is 1, this point is 1, and this point is 1.5. Okay, so when we are talking about miss index, our seed spacing is greater than 1.5 times, and when we are talking about multiple index, our seed spacing is less than 0.5 times, means your seed spacing should be somewhere like this. So all this seed spacing are taken into account by miss index and multiple index. Now there is a third index, quality feed index, that is derived from this miss index and multiple index. So quality feed index, it is 100% minus your miss index plus multiple index. So when you will add this two index, miss index and multiple index, and you will deduct that from 100%, so that index is known as quality feed index. Okay, and there is a fourth index also, that is that takes precision spacing. So when we are consider about miss index and multiple index, we are focusing on spacing that are either less than 0.5 times or either greater than 1.5 times. But if your spacing is from 0.5, if your spacing is happening between 0.5 to 1.5 times also, that is also an error, right? So to take account of this error, that is from 0.5 to 1.5, we have introduced this term precision in planting. So precision in planting, it is the ratio of standard deviation to the set seed spacing. Okay, so set seed spacing is in millimeter and standard deviation SD. So this standard deviation is taking into account the seeds that have spacing more than 0.5, that is more than half, that is more than, this is more than 0.5. Okay, more than half means more than 0.5, more than 0.5 and not more than 0.5 and not more than 1.5 times, means from 0.5 to 1.5 times, those seeds, the standard deviation of spacing of those seeds that are between this 0.5 to 1.5, that takes into account in precision in spacing. So again I am repeating, precision spacing is the ratio of standard deviation of the seed spacing which are more than 0.5 times but less than 1.5 times of the set seed spacing S, and S is your set seed spacing. So by that we can get our fourth index, that is precision in spacing. So yeah, again in short I am repeating. So there are four type of index. One is miss index, second is multiple index, third is quality feed index, quality or feed index, fourth is precision and spacing. So miss index, in miss index we are considering seeds seeds which have spacing greater than 1.5 times the set seed spacing, that is miss index. Second is multiple index. Multiple index, we are focusing on seeds that has a spacing less than 0.5 times of your set seed spacing, so that is multiple index. Quality feed index is derived from miss index and multiple index. Quality feed index is 100% minus your miss index plus multiple index. So 100 times minus miss index plus multiple index is your quality feed index. Now we are in this three index, what we are doing is we are focusing about spacing that is beyond 0.5 times or beyond 1.5 times. But we are leaving the spacing between 0.5 to 1.5 times. So this so for that we are introducing a new index, that is precision in spacing. So in precision in spacing is the ratio of standard deviation of spacing that is between this 0.5 times to 1.5 times divided by your set seed spacing. So that is precision in spacing. So these are the four performance parameter for your planter. So is this clear? These four terms? Any doubt? Any doubt in this four terms? Okay, so I hope no doubt in this four terms. Now question arises, if there is error, like we have seen in all this index is taking into account some kind of error in planter. So if there is error, we have to enhance our planter. So now we will see what are the traditional drawback of the planter. One is high miss index, okay. Second is adjustment of seed rate is difficult. I have told you in planter or seed drill we are adjusting the opening of the hopper, okay. We are adjusting the opening of the hopper, and how we are adjusting of the opening of the hopper, by that our seed rate is adjusted. So so we have seen in traditional planter there is a difficulty in adjustment of the seed rate also, okay. And third is absence of seed monitoring system, like if our seed is following the set seed spacing or not, that we cannot see. There is no kind of monitoring system in this traditional kind of planter. So for that, what we have done, we have introduced mechatronics in planting, okay. So mechatronics is a combination of two words. One is mechanical and one is mechanic and second is electronics, okay. So your traditional farm machinery implements are only mechanical type of implements. There is no electronics thing attached here. Okay, someone is joining, I think. Yeah. So so your traditional planters, we have only mechanical system, okay. We do not have any kind of electronic system, okay. But we have seen there are some of the drawback in your mechanical system, like you can see high missing index and adjustment of seed rate is difficult, and third main thing is absence of seed monitoring system, okay. We have absence of we do not have any monitoring system to see if our planter is sowing the seed at perfect seed spacing, that is S, that we cannot see. So what we have do, we have blended our mechanical planter with some kind of electronics equipment. So that is mechatronics, okay. So how this mechatronics work? Basically, in very simple terms, if I let you understand, there are three components of any mechatronic system. One is data acquisition, okay. Second is processing of the data, and third is actuation, okay. So first one is data acquisition. For data acquisition, what we do is we use some kind of sensors, okay. So in mechatronic system, for letting for understanding if our seed spacing is follow or not, we use sensor, okay. What kind of sensor? We either use IR sensor or we generally use IR sensor, okay, infra red sensor, okay. And then when you are sensing or when you are sensing or collecting data, the second is processing, okay. Processing means your there will be some kind of processing unit, like some kind of microcontroller or some kind of microcontroller or some kind of processing unit, okay. That will process the data, that how much your spacing is coming, either if it is matching with the set seed spacing or not. That calculation part will be done by your second system, that is processing unit. and third system is your actuation unit. So actuation unit, when the processing will be done, your processor will give those instruction to your actuation unit. Like if your seed spacing is accurate, there will be three conditions, right? Your seed spacing is accurate, your seed spacing is less, your seed spacing is more. So if your seed spacing is accurate, the actuation unit will not work. If your seed spacing is not accurate, if it is less than that, the actuation unit will work such that your seed spacing will tend to your mean seed spacing if it is less than that. Similarly, if it is more than that, your mean seed spacing, your actuation unit will delay your seeds your actuation unit will if it is more than that, right? So if it is more than if it is coming more than mean seed spacing, your actuation unit will delay the timing of the delivery. Okay, so when it will delay, so when it will it will not delay, it will fasten the process. So when it will fasten the process, your seed spacing will decrease. So these are the three conditions. Again I am repeating. First condition, if your seed spacing is accurate to the set seed spacing, then the actuation system will not work. Second is, if your seed spacing is less than set seed spacing, in that condition, your actuation system will delay your process. So when your actuation system will delay your process, your seed spacing will tend to increase to match your set seed spacing. And third condition, when your seed spacing is more than set seed spacing, then the actuation system will fasten the process. So when it will fasten the process, your seed spacing actual seed spacing will tend to move towards your theoretical seed spacing or set seed spacing. So these are the three conditions. So is this slide clear to all of you? Is this slide clear to all of you? Any doubt? Okay, so I hope this slide is clear to all of you. So in summary, what we have done is, we have first seen what are the performance parameter of planter. So there are four performance parameter: miss index, multiple index, quality feed index, and precision in spacing. So all these factors takes into account the error in seed spacing. So as we have error in seed spacing, we have moved from a traditional planter to a mechatronics type of planter or an advanced planter. So our traditional planter generally works on mechanical system only, but our mechatronics transplanter blend both the mechanical part as well as electronic part. Okay, mechanical part is used for actuation only, but electronic part will do the monitoring of the system. Okay, it will see, it has three components: one is sensor, second is your processor, third is your actuator. So your sensor will collect the data or monitor if your seed spacing is if your seed spacing is matching with your actual seed spacing or not. Processing unit, it will process the data, and last actuation unit, it will delay the timing of your process. Okay, it will either delay or fasten your process. It will delay if you are your seed spacing is less than mean seed spacing, and it will fasten the process if your seed spacing is more than your set seed spacing. So these are the three conditions. So I hope this slide is clear to you all. Now let's move on to the next thing, that is variable rate fertilizer application. So in the previous slide, we are talking about seed planter application, right? Now we will see a different kind of application, fertilizer application. Okay, last class also I have introduced you regarding the fertilizer application and different type of fertilizer application. Now thing is, fertilizer, when we are generally applying the fertilizer, we are putting same quantity of fertilizer at all the places of the field. So that is not necessary, right? like in your class, if only one person has fever, so what you will do, you will give the medicine to that person only, not the whole class, right? So so if you will see in case of plant also, like plant also, or in case of soil also, there will be some portion of your field that will have deficiency of your nutrients, right? Some portion would not have deficiency of nutrient. So if you are doing the fertilizer application to all the parts of the field to all the parts of the field that do not require fertilizer also, that is not that is you can say not that is first wastage of fertilizer or wastage of input, and second is it also harm your soil. Okay, so to prevent this, what we are doing is we are moving from a general fertilizer drill to a variable rate fertilizer application. Okay, variable rate fertilizer application means which apply desired amount of input fertilizer precisely at right time at a specific location to enhance crop production. So three things are very important. One is right quantity, second is right location, and third is right time. Okay, so again I am repeating: right quantity, right location, right time. Okay, so this fertilizer variable rate fertilizer application takes into account all these three parameters. Okay, what are the advantages? One, we are reducing the cost of production. If you will apply the same fertilizer everywhere without checking if your soil required if your part of the soil is requiring fertilizer or not, so you are wasting your resources. Okay, you are wasting your resources, and when you are wasting your resources, you are also paying more for that application. Okay, so that okay, I think someone is joining. Okay. So yeah, so first advantages is it reduce the cost of operation. Second is it minimize the wastage of fertilizer. So yeah, you are minimizing the wastage of fertilizer if you are doing this variable rate fertilization, because you are putting fertilizer at the right by right quantity at the right place at the right time. Okay, so, and third is it reduce the risk of environmental pollution. So you have already heard in many places what happens is this fertilizer get washed with your water, and it generally lead to water pollution, or it generally degrade your environment. Okay, so when you will use right amount of fertilizer at the right place, so it reduces the risk of environmental pollution also. Okay, so these are the three advantages. Now for this variable rate fertilization application, there are two approach. Okay, one is sensor based approach, second is map based approach. So sensor based approach means you will apply a sensor, okay, to the fertilizer drill. Okay, that sensor will see where exactly there is a requirement of fertilizer. Okay, and by that when the sensor, same like mechatronic system in your planter also, that sensor will sense where exactly there is a requirement of fertilizer, and when it will sense where exactly is required, it will give that information to your processor, and then that processor will give information to your actuator, and that actuator will operate only at position that has deficiency of nutrients. Okay, so that is sensor based approach. Second approach is map based approach. Map based approach means already to the system you are giving a map. You have a prepared map of the field. You know exactly in the map where there is a deficiency of nutrients. Okay, so your system will automatically your system will extract information from this map that you have given to your system, and it will apply fertilizer only to that places only. That is map based approach. And full approach, if I will explain you the block diagram. So nitrogen requirement of soil or crop. So your sensor will first sense where is the nitrogen requirement of soil or crop. second is algorithm for managing this fertilizer drop. Then you have two approaches, sensor based approach and map based approach. And when your system will know where exactly is the deficiency of fertilizer, there the control system is there to actuate mechanical unit, and your seed cum fertilizer drill or any fertilizer drill will release the fertilizer to the soil. Okay, so this is the complete block diagram. Now GPS, yes, sensor based, that you can understand, no need to explain. But this map based, that is based on GPS. Okay, GPS is global positioning system. GPS you have heard in your cars also. Okay, that is GPS. Okay, so how this GPS will work? So basically what happens is, to operate this GPS, you needed a GPS antenna that will be placed at a position of your field that is not in operation. Okay, that is GPS based antenna. In your tractor there is a GPS rover or antenna. So basically this is your this is your receiver. Okay, so your GPS rover or antenna from your tractor will send the signal to this receiver, and this receiver will tell you exact coordinates where there is a requirement of a fertilizer. Okay, so by that the map will be generated in your processor. So when the map will be generated, your control system will actuate the mechanical unit, and by that your controlling unit will actuate the release of fertilizer at that position only. So again I am repeating, what we required in this GPS system is, we required a GPS based antenna both on your tractor and at one side of the field also. Okay, so what this GPS based antenna is used, generally it is used to get the coordinates of the entire field. Okay, so this GPS based antenna will get the coordinates of the entire field, and when it will get the coordinates, your tractor GPS will coordinate with your receiver GPS, and when it will coordinate to your receiver GPS, this will give the information to your tractor GPS. And when your tractor GPS will get the information of coordinates, it will be making, by this processor, it will be making this map. Okay, it will be making this map, and after one go, when the map is prepared, the tractor will again make a second go, and at the second go the tractor or your fertilizer drill will only apply fertilizer to that position only where there is a deficiency by the map generated. Okay, so that is GPS based VFRA application, variable rate fertilizer application. Okay, so is this clear? There are two type of approach. One is sensor based approach, second is map based approach. In sensor based approach, you do not require any GPS, you just require a sensor. Your sensor will sense where exactly there is a need for this application. Okay, that is sensor based application. So when your sensor will get to know that your fertilizer requirement is more at that position only, your fertilizer drill will actuate. Okay, in map based GPS, what it will do, your tractor will your tractor has a GPS on it, and there is a GPS antenna on the part of the field that is not in operation also. So that GPS that is on the different part of the field that is not in operation, that GPS antenna will basically receive your satellite coordinates. Okay, so when this antenna will receive your satellite coordinate, your tractor GPS will coordinate with this antenna, and your tractor GPS will take the information where exactly is required fertilizer application. And after one go, a map will be prepared in this processor, and by that map your fertilizer drill will operate. Okay, so these are the two type of operation. So is this clear? Is the location is given manually or by some method? Location is given by your satellite, right? Your satellite would give the location data to your this GPS based antenna. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic, that is embedded system. So what is this embedded system? So embedded system is a computer system with a dedicated function with a larger mechanical or electrical system, often with real time computing constraint. Okay, it is embedded as a part of complete device, often including hardware and mechanical parts. Okay, so yeah, so any system that you have seen when we are talking about this mechatronics system, so any system you have seen, there are different hardwares, there are different softwares. Okay, and the real time operation or real time actuation is done by some other part. So basically the three things that I have told you, one is sensing or data acquisition, second is processing, data processing, third is actuation. These three are done by different components, but in embedded system what happens is all the three are combined. Okay, all the three things are combined into a single system, and that system is basically called embedded system. Okay, so in embedded system we have all three, like hardware are also there. There will be hardware for sensing, or this you can say computer hardware also, sensors also. Okay, that is hardware part. Second is your main application software, that is processing unit part. Okay, that is also there. And third is real time operating system or your actuation system, that is also there. Okay, so all the three system, when it combines into a single system, that system is known as embedded system. Okay, so you can see over this flow chart. Yeah, you have input variables and you will get some output variables, and your in the embedded system you have both the hardware as well as software, also the real time operating system. So when so actually this whole is your embedded system. Okay, the input will be received by your sensor. Okay, this input will be received by your sensor. This then this embedded system, or actually this whole is an embedded system. Here there will be processor, so the processor will process the information that is received by the sensor and output, and when it will process, it will tell the control unit where exactly to operate. Okay, that is you can say this output thing is your controller part. So total this is your embedded system. So there are many application of this embedded system. So one of the most you can say popular application that is happening in Indian agriculture right now is drone for field monitoring, as well as drone for application of fertilizer, etc. Okay, so drone, when we are talking about this drone system, so you can in drone system your information acquisition will be done by a camera. Okay, your processing will be done by a processing unit like any microcontroller or some other unit. Okay, some microcontroller, and your actuation to release the fertilizer, you can say, that will be done by your fertilization unit. But drone, you can see a drone is a small unit, right, and it needs to fly also. So if we are keeping different units without combining them, your drone could not fly. So for that we are using embedded system. Embedded system, we are combining all the three, that is sensing, processing, as well as actuating. We are combining all three. So your drone is a popular application of your embedded system. Second is, you can see soil monitoring sensor also. So there are some soil monitoring sensor that works on the same principle. That works on the same principle. There will be some sensing unit to take the soil information, like soil nutrients or your soil hardness and other things. Okay, and then those information will be stored in a processing unit. And if we are attaching some actuation like the your fertilizer application, if you are using some application with this too, we can make it an embedded system. Okay, similar in case of water management and other machines for routine operation. Okay, so these are some popular application of your embedded system. So is this clear? What is an embedded system? It does all the three mechatronics parts into a one system. Okay, is this clear? So is this clear? Okay, now let's move the topic on which we will be discussing discussing questions similar to your assignment. Not exactly your assignment you have to do by yourself. I will be discussing questions that are similar to your assignment. So when you will be doing the assignment, you will not feel alienated. So for today we will be covering this 4 topics: paddy transplanting, second is microcontroller based uniform seed rate application, third is GPS based automatic fertilizer applicator, and fourth is embedded GPS based automatic fertilizer applicator. These 4 topics we will be discussing the similar assignment questions. Okay, so I in this session I encourage everyone to guess the answer. Even if you don't know the answer, I encourage you to guess the answer. Okay, so by that you will feel more attached to the question if you will at least try to guess the answer. Okay, so let me move to the first question. So first question is: system of rice intensification SRI can reduce the duration of crop cycle by, option A is 4 to 5 days, option B is 8 to 10 days, option C is 10 to 15 days, and option D is 20 to 25 days. Okay, so Gautam is telling C. Any other
So
guesses?
answer option C, sir.
Yeah, option C. Another guy is telling option C. Any other guesses apart from option C? Okay, so yeah, you are absolutely correct. Your answer is C. Okay, as I have discussed you in the theory, the one of the most important benefits of SRI is it reduce duration of a crop cycle by 10 to 15 days. Why it reduce the duration of crop cycle? Because when we are doing general transplanting, we are generally transplanting the seedling after 22 days. Okay, but when we are doing this series SRI operation, generally we are transplanting it in 8 to 15 days. Okay, so generally we are saving 10 to 15 days of our duration of the crop cycle. Okay, so option C is your correct answer. Okay, so any doubt for this question? Any doubt regarding this question? Okay, so I hope this question is clear to all of you. Now let's move on to the second question. So this is a numerical question. So the question is: a self-propelled 8-row paddy transplanter operated at a speed 4 km per hour is used for transplanting the seedling at a row spacing of 15 centimeter. Okay, if the total time loss is 15%, then what is the actual time required to cover an area of 3 hectare? Okay, so any guesses for this? Okay, no problem. This is a numerical question, so let me tell you how to proceed this question. Okay, so in farm machinery, when you are doing any operation, one of the most important, you can say, parameter that we consider is field capacity. Okay, so what is this field capacity? It is area covered per unit time. Okay, that is field capacity. So how you will there are 2 type of field capacity. One is theoretical field capacity, second is actual field capacity. So what is this theoretical field capacity? Theoretical field capacity, or TFC, that is equal to S into W. Okay, and you want to take the units into K. So generally what we do is S into W by 10. We take S in kilometer per hour. Okay, and we take W in meter. Okay, so by this we take out our theoretical field capacity. Second is actual field capacity. Actual field capacity is what? Actual field capacity is total area covered, that is A, actual area covered divided by total time. So that is actual field capacity. Again I am repeating, one of the most important parameter that is used in farm machinery is to know the performance of any implement, that is field capacity. What is field capacity? In very general term we can say field capacity is area covered by the implement per unit time. Okay, that is field capacity. Now in field capacity also there are two type of field capacity. One is theoretical field capacity, one is actual field capacity. So actual field capacity, as the name suggests, as it is actual field capacity, so that will be equal to actual area covered divided by time taken for your operation. That is actual field capacity. But there is another field capacity also, that is theoretical field capacity. So what is this theoretical field capacity? Theoretical field capacity is your speed into width of the implement divided into width of the implement. Okay, and if you take a unit into consideration, so your theoretical field capacity will be speed in kilometer per hour into width of your implement in meter divided by 10, and by this we will get theoretical field capacity in hectare per hour. In farm machinery, I have told you, we generally measure area in terms of hectare. Hectare is 10,000 meter square. Okay, so in hectare per hour your field capacity is S into W by 10. Okay, S in kilometer per hour within meter and divided by 10. Okay, so here as we have not given anything regarding your actual area, so we will proceed field capacity by your theoretical field capacity. Okay, so theoretical field capacity, we are given speed of the operation, that is 4 km per hour, and we are given the row spacing. Okay, and here it is given 8 rows. Okay, so total width of the implement will be 8 into 15 divided by 100, because W we required in meter. Okay, so when you will do 8 into 15 divided by 100, that is 8 into 15 is 120, 120 divided by 100 is 1.20. So that you got the W, and S is given as 4 km per hour. So 4, as by the formula, 4 into W, that is 1.20 divided by 10. By that we will get the field capacity of this transplanter. Okay, so we got the field capacity. Now the question here is asking is, if the time loss is 15%, that what is the actual time required to cover an area of 3 hectare. Okay, so now when we know the theoretical field capacity, what we can do is, if we multiply this 3 hectare in this if we divide 3 hectare, you have to take into consideration unit, right? So 3 hectare, when you will divide 3 hectare divided by your theoretical field capacity, that is 0.48 hectare per hour. Okay, so by that you will get this time 6.25 hours. But in the question it is asked if the total time loss is 15%. So you have to either multiply, you have to either do the answer 3 by 0.48 is 6.25. Okay, so either you do 6.25 into 1.15, or you do 6.25 divided by 0.85. Okay, when you will do this two, you will get the answer. Okay, so here in this answer it is then 6.25 divided by 0.85. Okay, as 15% time is lost. So total time was 1. Okay, and now we are reducing 15% time. So 6.25 divided by 0.85. So our answer is 7.35 hours. That is answer B. So is this clear? How we got the answer B? Is this clear? Any doubt regarding this numerical you can ask. Do I need to repeat? Any doubt regarding this numerical? Is my voice audible? So no doubt, right, regarding this numerical? Okay. Okay, so fine. So let's move to the next question. So again, this is a numerical question. A drum seeder is used for sowing the paddy seed at a rate of 40 seeds per 1 meter length of row. Okay, if the row spacing is 25 centimeter and mass of 1000 seeds is 30 gram, then seed rate is given by A is 125 kg per hectare, B is 60 kg per hectare, C is 48 kg per hectare, and D is 80 kg per hectare. Okay, so how we will proceed the question? So first we will see number of seeds per meter length. Okay, so 1 meter length, how many seeds we are sowing? We are sowing 40 seeds. Okay, so that is 40. Now what is the row spacing? Row spacing given is 25 centimeter. Okay, so your area covered for 40 seed will be 40 into 40 your area covered for 40 seed will be 40 40 into your area covered for 40 seed will be 1 meter 1 meter into 0.25 1 meter into 25 centimeter, that is 1 meter into 0.25 meter, that is 0.25 meter square. So area covered for 40 seed is 0.25 meter square. Now what will be the weight of for 40 seeds? Okay, so here it is given for 1000 seed the weight is 30 gram. So for 40 seed you can calculate. So for if the your for 1000 seeds the weight is 30 gram. Okay, for 1000. Okay, 1 minute. So for so for 1000 seed your weight is 30 gram. Now for 40 seed your weight will be 30 divided by 1000 into 40 gram. So that will be your weight. Okay, so that weight will be 30 into 40, that is 30 into 40 is 1200. Okay, divided by 1000 gram. So that will be your weight of the seed, that is 1.2 gram. Your 40 seed will weigh 1.2 gram. Okay, your 40 seed will weigh 1.2 gram. Now for this 40 seeds, what was the area? So that area is 0.25 meter square. Okay, so meter square, here it was asked in hectares. So your seed rate will be 1.2 gram divided by 0.25 meter square. Okay, now the question has been asked in kg per hectare. So to convert a gram into kilogram we have to divide by 1000. Okay, and to convert meter square into hectare again we have to divide by 10,000. Okay, so when you will do this calculation, here 30 cuts, 30 cut, so 12 divided by 0.25 will be your answer. So 12 divided by 0.25 is your 48. So your answer will be 48 kg per hectare. Okay, so is this answer clear to all of you? Your answer will be, correct answer will be C. Okay, so is this clear to all of you how we proceeded the question? Any doubt regarding the question? Any doubt how we solve the question? Okay, so I hope this is clear to all of you. Let's move to the next question. Okay, so as per this is your IS standard, that is Indian standard 6813 2000. The seed and fertilizer rate in a seed cum fertilizer drill shall be easily adjusted up to A option is 175 kilogram per hectare and 1250 kilogram per hectare. B is 150 kilogram per hectare and 750 kilogram per hectare. C is 100 kilogram per hectare and 500 kilogram per hectare. And D is 125 kilogram per hectare and 1000 kilogram per hectare. So any guesses for this question?
Hundred kg hectare and 500 kg hectare.
100 kg, yeah, so you are telling C. Okay, and Gautam is telling D. Okay. Oh, so let's see the answer. The answer is D, that is 125 kg per hectare to 1000 kg per hectare. So that your seed and fertilizer drill should be adjusted to a minimum of 125 kg per hectare and a maximum of 1000 kg per hectare. So that is by your Indian standard 6813 2000. Okay, so that your Indian standard tell that your seed and fertilizer rate should be easily adjustable from 125 kg per hectare to 1000 kg per hectare. So your right answer will be D. Okay, so is this clear? This you have to memorize it because this is according to standards. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. A planter equipped with mechatronics transmission system offers the benefit of A is optimum use of seed, B is uniform seed rate application, C is easy seed rate adjustment, and D is all of the above. So we have discussed in the mechatronics.
So option D.
Yeah, someone is telling option D. Anyone else? Any other guesses you want to make? Yeah, so option D is absolutely correct. So I have told you in mechatronics system, one is no skid. What is skid? Skid is the opposite of slip. Okay, slip I have told you. Slip is your theoretical velocity minus actual velocity divided by your theoretical velocity, that is slip. Okay, so when slip occurs due to traction of the wheel, your actual velocity is generally lesser than theoretical velocity. So that thing we take into account by this formula, that is slip. And what is slip? Slip is theoretical velocity minus actual velocity divided by theoretical velocity. Now skid is the opposite of slip. Okay, so in skid, what happens in skid? In skid, your actual velocity will be greater than your theoretical velocity. So skid, if I write SK, so skid will be equal to VA minus VT divided by VT. Okay, so in skid, your actual velocity is more than your theoretical velocity. So in mechatronics system, there are some provision of mechatronics system of planter, in that apart from this seed rate measurement and seed spacing measurement, there is also a provision to measure if your tractor is not making, if your tractor or implement is not making any skid. Because if your tractor or implement will make skid, so that will affect the mean seed spacing. Okay, so for that this skid takes into account, and this mechatronics system what it will do, it will take care that your implement and tractor will not make any skid. Okay, so that is one of the advantage of your mechatronics system. Second is it maintains the uniform seed rate application. Third is optimum use of seed. Fourth is electronic seed rate controller and seed monitoring system, and last is easy adjustment of seed rate. So other four I have discussed in theory. Only this skid portion was left. So that again I am repeating, skid is the opposite of slip. Okay, so when the skid happens, your seed spacing can affect. Okay, so in some of the planter there is a provision. So by that provision, the mechatronic system takes care that there will be no skid. Okay, and then uniform seed rate application, that is optimum use of seed. So option A is also correct. Then is uniform seed rate application, so option B is also correct, and easy seed rate adjustment, option C is also correct. So in summary we can say all of the above are correct. So option D is your correct answer. So is this clear to all of you?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, so let's move to the next question. Which of the following instrument is used for measuring the rotational speed of the shaft? So option A is tachometer, option B is potentiometer, option C is spirometer, and option D is hydrometer. So any guesses?
So option B, potential.
Option B, someone is telling option B. Any other guesses? Okay, so option B is not correct, option A is correct, tachometer. Okay, so tachometer is an instrument that is used to quantify rotary speed of the rotating shaft. Okay, potentiometer is used for current. Okay, for measuring current or electrical resistance. So for that purpose we use potentiometer. Okay, and some potentiometer are calibrated with voltage. So by that those potentiometer we can also measure voltage also. Okay, so potentiometer is a instrument that basically measure your current and resistance. Okay, and yeah, and in this question it is asked this, what is the instrument for measuring rotational speed of the shaft? Okay, so rotational speed of the shaft is measured by a instrument called tachometer. Okay, this is a very important question that will be asked in your life again and again. So tachometer. Okay, tachometer is a device that is used to measure rotation speed of your shaft. Okay, rotary shaft. Now how this tachometer works? This tachometer works on the principle of your electromotive force. Okay, so electromotive force, you may have remembered Henry's law. In the Henry's law, what happens is when you move when you move a wire or any kind of instrument that has current in it, in a magnetic field, EMF or electromotive force will be generated. Okay, so this tachometer works on the same principle of your electromotive force. So what happens is when that tachometer shaft that tachometer shaft has its own magnetic coil. So when that rotating shaft will be in the magnetic field of the tachometer, it will generate an electromotive force. That electromotive force is calibrated with your rotational speed. Okay, so when that electromotive force is calibrated in your with your rotational speed, so by that when you will place the tachometer in the rotating shaft, you will get the measurements. Okay, you will get the rotational speed. So that is the principle of tachometer, and there are two type of tachometer. One is contact type and another is not contact type. Okay, contact type, what you have to do, you have to touch the rotation of the you have to touch the tachometer to the rotating shaft. In non-contact type tachometer, there is a laser beam. Okay, so you do not need to contact your tachometer with the rotating shaft. With the distance, when you will project the laser on your rotating shaft, the measurement will be displayed on your tachometer screen. Okay, so that is not contact type tachometer. So these are the two type of tachometers. Okay, so that is the question. Your tachometer is used for measuring the rotational speed of the shaft. So option A is your correct answer. Okay, so I think this question is clear to all of you, and this slide is very important. This tachometer instrument is very important. You will hear it again and again in any mechanical industry. If you will go to any mechanical industry, you will hear this tachometer term again and again. Okay, so this is one of
So I
the
have a doubt, sir.
yes.
So what is the working of potentiometer in variable uh, fertilizer application device, sir, in our tractor?
Potentiometer, yeah, potentiometer you use to regulate the current. Okay, potentiometer, that V-stone bridge, if you will make that V-stone bridge, so by that you can probably control the current in that circuit. So when you will control the current in that circuit, that like your motor will actuate at a particular current only. Okay, so when you will increase the current, your motor, the rotational speed of your motor will increase, so your application will be faster. So that I think will be the use of your potentiometer. Okay.
So what about spirometer and hydrometers?
Hydrometer is a device that is used to measure the yeah your water current. Okay, in water, the current will be water current means not electrical current. Water current means if you will drop a stone in the water, there will be some vibration or water current generated in your water. So the hydrometer generally measures that. And I don't know about spirometer. Okay, spirometer, I don't know about that you can search in the net. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now, which of the following is not a method for of implementing the site specific information to the variable rate fertilizer application, VRFA? Okay, so option A is sensor based approach, option B is formula based approach, option C is map based approach, option D is none of
So
this.
option B, option B.
Yeah, option B. Any other guesses from any other? Okay, so Gautam is also telling option B. So yeah, you are absolutely correct. So there are two approaches for variable rate fertilizer application. One is map based approach, second is sensor based approach. Okay, your formula based approach is not a method for implementing your variable rate fertilizer application. So option B is your correct answer. Okay, so this we have just learnt in theory also. So I think this is clear to all of you, right? Okay, now let's move to the next question. The percentage of seed spacing that is less than or equal to half of the set plant distance is known as, option A is multiple index, option B is quality feed index, option C is miss index, and option D is performance index. So any guesses for this? Yeah, Gautam is telling
So
A.
option A, multiple index.
Yeah, option A, multiple index, not miss index, right? Okay, so option A, multiple index. Yeah, absolutely correct. Because if your if your seed spacing is less than 0.5 times the set plant distance, that is multiple index. And when your seed spacing is greater than 1.5 times of your seed spacing, that is your miss index. Okay, so in this question it is asked seed spacing less than half of the set seed spacing, so option A will be your correct answer. Okay, so option A is your correct answer. And multiple index is the ratio of your number of seed spacing greater than lesser than 0.5 times set seed spacing divided by total number of spacing. Okay, that is multiple index. So option A is your correct answer. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay. And quality feed index is 100% minus multiple miss plus multiple. Okay, that is miss and plus multiple. So 100% minus miss plus multiple index is your quality feed index. Okay, so these are the three index. Another one is precision in planting. That index is not given here. So your answer will be, correct answer will be multiple index. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So as per BIS standard, BIS is Bureau of Indian Standard. Okay, the soil sample taken for measurement of puddling index has to kept undisturbed for a minimum period of, option A is 10 hours, option B is 18 hours, option C is 24 hours, and option D is 48 hours. So any
So option C 24.
option C. So someone is telling option C. Any other guesses? So no, option C is not the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. Okay, so for this puddling index you have to wait for 18 hours for the soil to settle down. Okay, so that is you can see in the theory, this shall be kept undisturbed for 18 hours to allow the soil to settle. So option B is your correct answer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's move on to the last question. Which type of mechanism is used in a moving finger type self-propelled paddy transplanter? Okay. So in a moving finger type, first there can be many mechanism to plant your seedling from the nursery to your field. Okay, there can be many mechanism. Okay, one type of mechanism is your finger type mechanism. Okay, so for this finger type mechanism, for this finger type mechanism, the actual mechanism is used as 4-bar linkage type mechanism. So in machine design or in theory of machine, you must have studied about different type of mechanism, like 4-bar mechanism, there is a slider crank mechanism, and there is a rack pinion type mechanism and other type of mechanism. So for this moving finger type implement, the mechanism that is used is a 4-bar linkage type mechanism. Okay, so your answer will be D. Okay, that you have to means understand, or you have to memorize this thing, that for this finger type self propelled paddy transplanter, the mechanism that is used is 4-bar linkage type mechanism. So I cannot explain beyond this, because this is a mechanism. This you might have studied in your theory of machine or machine design course. So there are different type of mechanisms. So you have for this question, what you have to do, you have to memorize that for this finger type self propelled transplanter, the mechanism that is behind this finger type self propelled transplanter is 4-bar linkage type mechanism. Okay, so the right answer is D. So is this clear to all of you? That you have to memorize. Okay, okay. So by this I am ending the session. Any question for today? Any slides you have doubts, you might please ask. Any doubt for today? Okay, so I hope there is no doubt for today's session. Okay, so fine. So by this I am terminating today's session. Thank you all of you for this patience So we will meet on the next Tuesday 6 to 8 p.m. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you all of you. Bye.